you're doing this.
Yeah.
The wristwatch is nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice, very good. So you've been doing this business for a while, and I've known you for a while, and I'm very, very intrigued with what you're doing within the leather space, within the fashion space, fashion accessory space, and all of that. But it will be very interesting to know what the journey is like. How did you stumble into this? What brought about this business idea? How did you venture into this opportunity in this space? Yes.
So thank you for acknowledging and recognizing the brand. It's been a long journey. It's been interesting. It's been a journey with a lot of
When did you start?
ups and downs. So I started back in school, uni days to be precise.
What university?
Babcock University.
Okay.
So I studied public health, and then my dad always wanted me to.
You studied public health, and you're doing what now?
I'm in the leather business.
Okay.
So my dad always wanted me to be a doctor. He's a doctor. He's a medical doctor. So he wanted me to, the father-son kind of vibe. Oh, I'm a doctor. I should be a doctor. It's a good thing, I was like, okay, no problem. But then, back then, that was like 2003. There weren't any private universities that had medicine, that you could go study medicine. I think it was just only one or so. And I think it was in Benin. I can't remember. Yeah. So the closest was public health. So I said, okay, you know what? Go do public health. When you're done, go further, abroad for your master's in medicine and all that. So I'm like, okay, but within me, I've always loved art. I've always loved business. I've always had that industrial spirit. But I was like, okay, let's see how this works. So I love public health. I did that too throughout my stay in Babcock. So, but 300 level, a friend of mine, I don't know, I just started getting interested in doing business. It just came to me, so I started doing all kind of businesses. At some point I was selling phones, in school. So I buy it from outside. I sell within my colleagues.
I thought phones are not allowed in that school.
Well, no, not for Babcock. You can use for its Covenant.
Okay.
I think it's Covenant that you don't use. So for Babcock, you can use phone, any kind of phone and gadgets you want. So I started phone gadgets because I love tech. I love anything IT. I just love having gadgets. So I just, so I was using the latest phone. People ask me, where did you get this phone? I like it. So from there, I started saying, oh, you like it? I can get it for you. I get it for them, add my cut, deliver like that. You get. So I've always had that industrial spirit. And 300 level, I started making shoes. So we started with slippers because then I used to custom make my own slippers from 100 level. So I custom make my slippers. People say, oh, this is really nice. I like the cut, the color and all that, It was inspired by, I don't know if you used any Jerusalem slippers. There used to be some Jerusalem sandals.
Yeah, I know some of my uncles
that used to. Yeah. So when our parents they used to go to this, I think, Holy Land or something like that. So when they come, I think pilgrimage or something like that. It was a long time ago. So when they come, the things they bring from there, sandals and probably a satchel bag. So I always got that inspiration from that. That sandals, you can't get it anywhere unless you've traveled to Israel or Jerusalem. So from there, I started getting my cuts from there. People, wow, this is so nice. I like it. So before you know it, people started ordering. I will make, 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. But
using how do you make them? Using local artisans?
Yeah, local artisans.
So you design them and then you give them to the local artisans.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I used to cut. Funny enough, the guy was just beside my house. There used to be one local shoemaker just right beside my house. So I'll just pass by. I'll just okay, you know what? Let's get materials. It took me to the market where I got materials. So we buy materials, the soles, the leather, everything. So I knew all the composition of making the footwear, cutting and all that. He taught me how to do it, So from there, I started making 1, 2 pairs. From there, 3, 4, like that. So it was an interesting journey. Then before you know it, I started making for all my friends.
So yes, that was in school.
Yeah, was in school.
People do side hustle in school, but what made you think that you could turn this into what it is today? After school, how did you decide? Oh, I'm going to make this a business.
Yeah. So I wanted to do something different than just buying and selling, trading, you know. So probably because of the knowledge I had and the exposure I had, we decided to create a brand out of it, you know. I've always loved fashion, you know. When I'm saying fashion, the likes of the foreign brands, the H&M, the Zara's, and the likes, you know. So I knew that we could build something like that locally, you know. So from there, I decided to create a brand. So people thought I was just selling slippers, you know. Even my dad was like, "What are you doing?" Like, you know, you know that he didn't encourage me, but he was like, "Oh, when you're done with school,
Yeah, you'll be
you'll get
tired
back to your
and
sense," you know.
yeah.
But a lot of people didn't see beyond what I was saying. You know, I was building a brand. You know, people just thought I was just selling shoes and slippers, but I was building a brand from school. So, you know, with that idea that I had with other brands and exposure I had, you know, when you travel abroad, you see how these brands sell, create, and all that.
How
So,
did you come up with the name T.T.DALK?
so T.T.DALK, it's a combination of my family, like the acronyms of our names, from my own letter, from my first letter, that's TT, that's Tolu. Then
Okay.
D, my late mom's name, Dolapo, A, Adewale, then L, Ladapo, my elder brother, then K, my dad.
Oh, okay.
Kennedy.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
just, you know,
But
it
they
was just,
all did they all give you money or what?
I wish they
Were
did.
they all investors in
I
the
wish they
business?
did. I wish they did. You know, it was just a personal thing. You know, I
Okay.
just wanted something more
Legacy.
um, had to do with legacy, exactly. You know, and it was emotional for me. So I said, you know, I wanted to create something unique. And you know, we designers, artists, we always just want something totally
Yeah,
different and
yeah.
just put
Are you the
things
firstborn?
together. Second born,
Okay. Of how many kids?
three boys.
Okay, so when you decided to start this, because you studied public health,
Yeah.
and when I mean, after school, you decide that this is what you want to do with your life. You want to build a business, you want to build a brand around it, around the fashion accessory space. You know, so how was your family's reaction to that? Were they supportive of that idea? Was there any tussle?
And
Was there any discouragement from that end?
so it was a bit of ups and downs because my dad wanted a career for me. He saw me as a career guy. My mom was not in Nigeria. She's based in the U.S. She was based in the U.S. and at that time she wanted me to come over. You know, further. That was just the plan. You know, so my dad he supported me a bit, but when he saw that what's going on with this guy, you don't want to go and do your master. At some point, he just said, you know what, I like what you're doing, but this is not what I want for you. You know, and I wanted to prove to him that I could make it work. You know, my dad is, you know, is a medical doctor. He's a career person, doing well in what he does, and he just saw a different light for me. But it was tough convincing him. The only way I had to convince him
Was to make it
was
work.
was to make it work and take care of myself. And when I mean take care of myself, get off his roof.
Yeah.
Because I was under his roof at that time. I was using his car. So sometimes he would tell me, no, 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 drop my car. You're not serious. Yeah, you find your way. And I'm like, so all those things also pushed me, So I had to go
Into
and,
making it a success.
yeah, because moving around was tough. And I transport in a day, I could visit 3 states in a day. I live.
Supplying.
Yeah, delivery. So
Okay.
at some point, people started asking from different universities. So what I used to do is I used to attend trade fairs, a lot of exhibitions in Unilag. At some point, people didn't even know. My first outlet was in Unilag. Then they used to have this annual trade fair in their sports center. So I used to attend trade fairs in Unilag, Redeemers, um, Covenant, then a lot of schools. So that was my target at that time. So I go for they're all in different locations, Ota, Ibadan, that's Lead City, then Unilag in Lagos, and my school was in Elisha. So I'll leave school and go to these locations. At some point, I had to stay off campus. Like my final year, I had to stay off campus because I was traveling a lot and I was not mobile. Do you get it? Because sometimes I
Did
leave
that
school in the.
affect your education? Did that affect your GP or anything?
Funny enough, it didn't. As a matter of fact, my final year's course was the best so far because I had to prove a lot of things. Do you get? I couldn't afford to get distracted because imagine if it didn't go well and I didn't excel in school. That's
Yeah,
like
that's
that's like destruction.
But for most entrepreneurs, they don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that luck because starting a business in school, you're mixing with so many things, and it's very hard for you to concentrate.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm glad you're able to do that, and then got out of school with a good grade and all. So then out of school, now starting, how did you raise capital?
So if I tell you that I started this with about less than 5,000 naira, you won't believe it. And I didn't raise capital.
I believe it because I've done that before.
You see? So, so I started with, like I said earlier, I started with making 2 pairs, and that was for one of my uncle. Because, so he just told me, okay, make 2 for me. He said, how much? I said, okay, 2 is maybe, I think 4,000 naira, so 2,000 each or something. Yeah, make for me. He gave me 2,000 up front. So I just used that one to make the pair, and I believe that it balanced me. So from there, that's how the brand grew. So as I sell, I put all the money back in the business. So I'm making 5, I put everything, I make 10. So I was putting it back in and out, in and out, I wasn't saving. So at that time, I was in my final year. That was the time where I had free time. Because final year, what you're just doing is projects.
Yeah, project work.
So my friends, my colleagues were just going out, partying. They were having time with them. But for me, I was in school. Most of the time, I was working my ass out. I was trying to create, I was selling. So at that time, it took a lot of discipline. So I was making products, selling,
But that was the startup phase when you were going to grow into the next level of the business. Because I know businesses, there's that startup stage where, yes, you can leverage on other people's money, and sometimes you bootstrap from your own funds, family and friends, and all of that. But at the point when you need to grow the business, sometimes you need some extra. You need some extra leverage to get you to that point. I mean, I think you've done growth, you've done scale, and how did you navigate through these phases? Yeah, most especially with funding. Because running a business this is doing business in Nigeria, and we're still going to get into the interesting part of running businesses in Nigeria, overhead, all of those things.
Absolutely.
But how did you raise capital? Yeah.
So
yes, you started with 5,000 and yes, people paying you upfront and all of that. Yes, that's enough for startup, but that's not enough for growth.
When you say not enough for growth, it's relative. It depends on, so for business, it depends on how you start and what you want to achieve. I've had a lot of businesses that didn't even need to raise capital and they're so big today. So it depends on how you divert your funds, how you create, and what you're bringing to the table. So for me, it's been more of strategic movement. Honestly, at the point when we needed money, we didn't get it. And what I mean by that is, we started like 2008. Unofficially, my first store my first outlet was a Unilag, very tiny. In fact, there's only one person that can enter. It's that small, So we would just pass, oh, Temi, I saw your place in Unilag. I say, yeah, The truth of the matter, I just thank God for, grace. My biggest markets were schools. So, like I said earlier, so what I do is when I produce, so I used to have sales representative in these universities, most of them were ladies. So what I did was I just drop products with them. So if I can make like 100 pairs of slippers. I drop in this school, and you won't believe that those items could finish in a week. Do you get? Because they just call me, tell me, please, we need more, we need more. I had classics. I had designs that nobody has ever made. Do you get? I used to call them the buttons. So you had these female slippers, 2 buttons. People loved the different colors, black, gray. Do you get? I made designs that you've never seen anywhere. So that was a winning point for me. Do you get? So
sales was good.
So sales was good.
And sales was bringing in the money.
Profit.
Yeah.
So my profit, like I said,
you put it back.
I put it back in the business. So there was a time we wanted to raise 1 million. Then I visited the bank, and I won't mention the bank. As a matter of fact, I visited 2 banks. It was a challenge. Do you get? They saw my account. I was running numbers. Do you get? But they couldn't give me 1 million. because probably said, oh, your balance, your this, your what, I don't know. You know, they just create some banking
No,
terms and
I
say
I
bring
totally
collateral at for 1 million, and I'm like, Jigga,
I totally get that. Yeah.
see, the first time I got a million,
Mm.
you know, was this bank. What's the name? I don't know if I should mention their name.
No, don't worry, don't mention.
You know, so even the 1 million, when I got it, before you know, they took off their charges, everything. How much entered my account? Maybe 900K or something. And I'm like, every penny counts. You know, I need this money. You know, it was a challenge. Then, like, it's so interesting how the world works. You know, they see growth, but I don't know, maybe because of the
No,
economies.
that is part of doing business in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Nigeria is a terrain that has its peculiarities. Is you know, many entrepreneurs, and I've met a lot of different entrepreneurs from different countries and all of that. And I tell them that Nigeria is very different because it's not totally an enabling environment.
Yes.
We, the entrepreneurs, are those making it enabling. But there are several policies that different you know, there are different things that can somersault your business and that can actually discourage even growing entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs. So
Absolutely.
I get all those
This
bank
price
these
is
things
serious.
because even at that, your interest rate, you know, at a point in HBS, I was telling some of my colleagues that the interest rate in Nigeria is double digits. They
can't afford.
I mean, we were arguing back and forth. They couldn't believe it until we had to go online, and they can't believe that you do business and you'll be paying interest of 22%, 25%. It's just crazy. So what's even your margin? Because at the end of the day, these are the things that contribute to inflation and all of that. I mean, you are in a very, in very interesting business. I love your brand. You know, I mean,
one of our big pioneers, one of our big clients.
Because I like made in Nigeria. I like to patronize
really
people
supported us, you know.
who believe in this country. You know, but I don't think is. And I need you to tell us that those difficult parts because you started the business in 2008.
Yeah.
And you're still here now. What are the challenges? I mean, trust me, I know there are many headaches.
Absolutely.
In all your outlets, I'm sure you're running on diesel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and all other overhead and all. Tell us, what are those challenging moments for you? How did you navigate them?
So, so when I started, my first store, like official store, was in VI, Silverbed Galleria. You know, so I just got like so what made me take that place? Because we were like, that place is so expensive. You're just starting up and you went to VI, you went to the mall. Like, so what made me start was one of those exhibitions I did. So I did an exhibition in Silverbed. They used to do this like quarterly exhibition. I did one, and you won't believe the outcome. I almost sold out. Did you get? So I was like, maybe because it's first time or maybe this time. I did another one again. Well, the first was better, but it was promising. So I said, come on. I started to understand the mall business.
Yeah.
Do you get? I started understanding traffic business. So like I said earlier, strategy, how you move is very important. You know, so I said, you know what? I called their manager. I told my friend because I used to go to Silver Bay. Silver Bay was like the only mall then. Back then, you know. Then we watch movies pop. You know, it was so crowded. I wanted to get a store there. I was in 300 level. Imagine. I was like,
no, that's the spirit of entrepreneurship.
I was to get a store there because I was amazed with the traffic. I travel a lot. Do you get? So you know when you're in America, you go to one of this Westfield and all that. You're like, you know how it is. You see stores. So I was looking at all I was seeing was numbers. You know, and the manager was like, the store here is so expensive. So you're like, this guy, where are you? Yeah. So I told him I was serious. I needed, he now showed me the staircase area. That was the only place he could give me, and it was 500,000 per month. I was like, at that level. I was like,
what year was this?
This was like 2006 or so. 500, and I'm like, you see? He said, the staircase, just carve, I can be selling. I'm like, but the traffic is, he said, people go, that's the way to the car park, back out, but it's good. But guess what? The mall was so good that every angle of the mall was lit. Traffic everywhere. Did you get? By that time, I was already thinking, I went back to school, I was thinking, 2020, then 400 level. I just took my mind off. So I was calculating in my head, how many pairs do I have to sell
To be able to pay this rent.
this rent? All I needed to be was in that location. But, fast forward to today, the economics of the business, Nigeria as a whole, like you're aware of what is going on with the dollars, as dollars is the FX against the naira.
Yeah.
Now the diesel is slapping you on, like, they're almost struggling. Diesel and FX, like they're in the same, category. And they're like, it's been a struggle, honestly. And I thank God, because I don't know how I would have done it if not for grace of God. Because
you took that more. You took that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just
yeah.
Okay. What
I
really wanted to hear that. Okay, let me think about. Because you asked me a question, I took it. I already did. Okay. So 2008, 2009, I went for my youth service. So I took a bit of break, because I was in Iseyin in Ibadan.
Okay.
Then from Iseyin, then I moved to town in Ibadan. Then 3 months before the end, I kicked off again in Ibadan. They also came again. I'm like, what am I doing? This Ibadan, I will take over this place. This Ibadan, I will take over this place. So I went to approach, that time was Big Treat. Big Treat was like the biggest supermarket in Ibadan. Then we had Food Co in Ibadan then. So I went to approach, so my friend used to sell yogurt. He used to supply yogurt to Big Treat. So I was like, introduce me to this woman. Now let's do it. I said, don't worry, I'll introduce you when I'm doing my next supply. So as they went there, he introduced me to the woman, Aries Yogurt then. So he introduced me to the woman, and I was like, this is my sample, this is what I do. She was like, okay, you know what? So we'll set up a place for you, and that was it. So I started supplying Big Tree. She said she would put it in all their branches, So I supplied Big Tree. I went to meet Food Co. Same thing. He introduced me to Food Co. I started supplying them. So Ibadan, I started doing my business, in Ibadan. I enjoyed Ibadan. Ibadan is a good place, So, because I was doing my youth service, so my mind was not even in Lagos like that. Yeah. But I used to come to Lagos once in a while. And so after my youth service, 2009, 2010, they also came back. Reality came back. I had to come back to Lagos and start the hustle again. But I still had those locations in. So I now looked at that silver bed again. I say, this location, I went back. So I went to Ozone. Ozone was in Yaba. It was a big deal then too.
Yeah.
Everybody, that community. Yeah. They were in the ICM was not even there. They weren't anymore. It was only Ozone. Yeah. So I went to Ozone. I went to speak to the manager. They didn't even have space. So I couldn't even get a spot there. So I can't really remember. So what I now started doing with Ozone, let me tell you what I did. So what I did was I made it a meeting hub. So when I do my marketing, I get everybody to meet me on certain days, and I pump my trunk.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at my trunk then, there wasn't any space, only slippers in my boot. So I just pump trunk, and people would just come pick, buy, shop. As I'm selling some, what's this? What's going on here? Blah, blah, blah. So I was literally selling for my trunk, because Ozone had this traffic, so I was just taking advantage. I was just parking in front, open my boot. So me and my cousins. So I used to have my cousins around. We'd just be there. They'd be calling people, come and see. So it was fun. We'd buy drinks. We'd just chill, So it was fun, We all had fun. I used to engage my friends. My friends were so supportive. They'll just come around. Tell me, where are you? I'll say, come and meet me in Ozone. They will come. They'll bring their friends. Oh yeah, everybody buy. Before you know it, I've sold out. I'm telling you. So I'll just go back to the factory. So my workshop was in Abeokuta, where my father's house. So I used the backside.
I used to see it because I passed that road.
So
you put the sign by the gate, T.T.DALK.
Yeah. So we used to have that was where my first shop, but it was not really decided. But I just turned it into a workshop, and so I'll just go restock. I'll go to the market, buy a lot of materials, restock. Go, okay. I'll call my cousins. I'm coming to Lagos this weekend. So my movement was Thursday to Sunday.
So you raised money literally from sales.
Absolutely.
And then took that more.
Absolutely.
Was that a good decision?
Absolutely. Best decision ever.
Yeah, nice.
But the thing is that for the first years, I wasn't breaking even.
Okay.
I didn't even realize I was not making money. In my head, I was making money.
I get that.
You think you're making money, you're seeing the figures, you're making daily sales, and You know, reality,
you're not looking at your expense.
You're not looking at your expense.
Yeah, you're not looking at your expense.
And I think that was what the bank saw. That's why when I asked, at that time, I was looking for 1 million badly. Like, I just need 1 million to scale up. If I can get 1 million, I do this. So, but they were not seeing, I was not seeing what they were saying. But guess what? It was still a risk. So what I was saying was they should believe in me. That look, with my, but they don't care. They don't know who I am. They just look, who is this guy? You know. But you know, it's just for you to convince. It's like convincing an investor. You know, it's only those who believe in you and see that drive.
Yeah, and see that drive.
Money in you.
Yes.
You know, most banks, they are not patient enough with so billions of clients, you know, millions of clients, and it's just how much are you bringing to the table, you know. It's not your 1 million that will change that. Yeah. So, but I wanted to see, I was telling my account, don't worry, I'm going to pay this money back. I promise I'll not owe it. They dragged that, you know. I think my first 1 million loan was, I can't really remember the date, but should I mention the bank?
No, don't mention. Don't mention.
You know, so and guess what's funny? Guess the interesting part of it. Now, this is the part that will blow your mind. My friend, same age, same everything. I started the business before him. He had access to 3 million. Why?
You can.
It wasn't car
yeah,
business.
it was car. Okay. Yeah.
It was selling cars. Do you get? As a matter of fact, then credit card was a big deal. They were giving my guys credit cards. For me to get credit card was even stressful, sir. Do you get? They gave my guy credit card max of 3 million, 2.5. Do you get? Me, my credit card was how much? Less than 1 million. And I'm like, my guy was just selling cars and they gave him 3 million. And I'm like, bro, you're just selling cars. Why are they giving you this amount of money? And me that I'm struggling, I'm an entrepreneur. I created something from and the bank can even give me 1 million.
From nothing. But so okay, yeah.
Sorry. So what I'm trying to point here is even the banks are securing their money. They're taking less risk.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because the cars probably serve as a collateral. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to what extent? My guy, you sell the car. What do you have? If I don't have the money, what do you want? You carry me. But you know, they were looking at more turnover, and the fact that he had a car, he had cars for sale.
Yeah, and those cars can
you know, but guess what? Because my business, what I was doing, I was literally in the leather business. How many people were doing that? I could count one up to 5 that were doing that kind of business. Do you get? So it was more like a new kind of business. That people would just look and say that Kilon shit, what's it doing?
When they are already used to to a lot of foreign, to a lot of foreign. But have you ever doubted this business? Have you ever doubted if the business idea will work, or have you ever had doubts in your mind?
Yeah.
At the moment where you're just tired and say,
a lot of times.
I think this business is
100%.
So how do you knock yourself back to that vision zone?
So that I won't even lie, I can't explain, because that's why earlier I said grace. My startup days were so I had depressing times, like whereby I just like, what is going on? Like, it just can't work. And before you know it, when I sleep over it, something comes up. You know, I could just get a call. Someone just, Temi, I saw your stuff. Where come, please? This is my friends. I have like 7 friends. You know, even if
those inspirations,
little things, even if 2 people, you know, someone, Temi, please come. I need to give you this. Even that one person, that phone call changes it all. It just wakes me up and says, you know what? Wake up. People want this thing. There's a market for this.
So those things kept going.
Absolutely.
So, but how do you handle competition with foreign brands? Because as Africans, we're very, very particular about foreign brands. People like names. So,
Absolutely.
how did you knock into that space? How did you carve that niche for yourself? I've traveled so many times and I carry your bags, and I'm proud to carry a T.T.DALK bag. You know, but it's because of how good the quality of your product. But some are still very particular about name. It has to be LV, he has to be Gucci, he has to be this, So how did you handle people with that kind of mindset? In this kind of market, how did you navigate through that? Through those challenges and all of that?
So that's why.
But I've taken a lot of belief in what you're doing.
100%. This is a very, very vital question you asked me, because it was a phase where I was going through this, or like, especially in the startup stage, those days where I pumped my trunk, or when we were having those exhibitions, people would just walk past and say, "What brand is this?" If they don't know the brand, that, I think it used to be the likes of the popular brand, like Ralph Lauren's, what brand is this? T.T.DALK is it? Just walk away. Do you get? So people wanted known brands, and with that spirit I had there, because even regardless, I had to still pick on, I had to move on. And for me, that's why the creative aspect is very, very important, whereby you create unique pieces that people don't see everywhere, So, and that, really helped me, because the sky is big. And the fact that people wanted something different in Nigeria, they wanted to support their own, you know. During my startup process, most of it were all based on, oh my God, this is made in Nigeria, we need to support this brand. Do you get? People liked it, the designs were good, but there were other brands, and because of what you're saying, and why I'm pointing this out is because when you start something small, it builds you. Do you get? It builds you, and you get stronger every day. No matter what slaps you, no matter what hits you, you're stronger. You've gone through all this. You just smile like it's just a face. And I'm getting somewhere. The reason why I'm standing back there is because as I still go through it today. People still, even online, they're like, oh, even to my page, on our pages, emails, they send us other brands. They send us luxury, but oh, this is what I want, this LV. I'm like, no, we don't do that. We do, and we sell only our brands. Even down to fixing, repairs. We don't do any other brand. If you want to repair a product, it has to be our brand. So we are that detailed. We are, and because it has taught me to appreciate what you have, grow what you have. That's the only thing. The brands that are broad, that people look up to, no doubt. These brands have been in existence for years, for decades, for centuries. People don't know.
You're right.
So if you don't, and the reason why they are where they are today is because they supported their own. Do you understand? They pushed themselves. They didn't need us to grow their brand. And that's why America is where it is today. Because as a whole, you remember during COVID, even in America, there were people who were losing jobs, people were getting depressed. But what did they do? They put more money in the system. They said, we can't kill this country. And that's the only way to grow a nation. And that's the only way to grow a business.
I want to walk on Oxford Street one day and see a T.T.DALK store. And all. I know that's going to happen.
You will. And, we opened in Dubai last year. And it was a decision I wanted to take for a long time. So it was either Dubai, London, or the United States. And the reason why, because people ask, why Dubai, why Dubai? And I'm like, the reason why I chose Dubai is because Dubai is the center
It's the shopping center of the world.
Yeah. And
Dubai, Paris, and
when I go to Dubai, I get really inspired.
And Turkey and all that.
I get really inspired. In fact, this period of when we open, the kind of people I've met in this short while, I never believed I'll meet them in a short while. Do you get? I almost met Kanye the last time he came to Dubai, and Kanye is like an idol to me. Do you get? But
I know you love Kanye.
I love Kanye. I almost met him, and he just came. He was just all around. But the time I was supposed to see him, I had to come back to Lagos. I had something urgent. So imagine, Dubai is the place that I'm the kind of people I've met in a short while. All my trips to Dubai, I meet someone important. The access is unlimited.
It's unlimited. But where do you get your materials from? I mean, this is now the real cocoa of the real most important part of this discussion. Where do you source your materials from, and do you still make all your products locally? Do you still make all of this from your factory here in Nigeria and all of that? And how do you source your products? I mean, the materials.
So a lot of people don't know, but Nigeria has one of the best leathers in the world. We have, in fact, what really goes on is like the oil. They take some of our leathers, export it, process it, send it back to us. But we have big brands. We have guys even in Kano that have tanneries that supply the big names, the luxury brands like the LV leathers. A lot of people don't know we have one of the best leathers. So, having one of the best leathers, most times, we source locally. Um, but the thing, like I said earlier, some of them are sent abroad, sent back to us. And for our shoes, our slippers, we make them locally. Up until last year, late last year, we released a collection from which I designed locally, but we imported them from Europe. So I would say, you know,
Mix.
mixed. So there's a larger percentage now that we export, and not that we can achieve them here, but due to a lot of constraints,
What are
just
those
constraints,
constraints? Yes, I know finishing is a very big issue. Having the right people who are well trained to to handle building that takes a whole
So,
lot.
yeah.
But yeah.
So
Okay.
so imagine I built a factory and we have this diesel issue.
Yeah.
Imagine what I'll be
No,
going through.
I totally. You see, this diesel problem is a very big problem.
It is.
In my office, we blow diesel 500,000 a day.
Are you
A
kidding
day,
me?
500,000 a day
Imagine that's
on
15
diesel
million a month.
on diesel cost. Yeah.
Imagine.
So it is like
Imagine
it's
what
really
it-
really crazy.
so that's-
and I know how power can be very very power is one of it, but also human capacity is
Human
a
capacity.
very very big problem.
Capital. That's even
Yeah,
that's
big,
even
big
number
problem.
one.
Yeah.
Now is better. Then to get working hands, you have no idea. It's a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
getting people who think like you, because now it's not just about having people who have experience. Because experience is down to the detail. Having someone that has the same mental space that you have, your capacity, what you're thinking, your ideas, your intuition, how people see what you're saying. That's where the work is. Because fashion is not something that you learn in school.
Yeah.
When I mean you learn, it's not like you don't learn them. They are, but then, there wasn't anything business or fashion, nothing like that. It's just now they're training people for, you go to school of sewing, school of shoemaking and all that. But then it was crazy. You do some people that will look at, they were staring at you, they're like, what is this guy talking about? Because they couldn't say it. So having people to think like you, work like you, was a lot of work.
Yeah. And one thing I love about your brand is because and I gift people as well. That I buy a lot and I give people. I like the fact that it lasts, is quality. Is I've had a bag for almost 6 years now, and it's still in very 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 good shape and all of that.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't really wear sandals, so the kind of sandals I wear. So because I have a sweaty feet, and all of that. But what's the future of T.T.DALK? Where are you really taking this to? Of course, this can't be the peak.
Yeah, at all.
How big is this going to become? Yes, it's big already, but I don't think this is the this is the peak of the vision that you have. So where how big is T.T.DALK going to? Paint us the future.
Sure. It's so interesting. 5 years ago, when I said, "Oh, I wanted to be one of the biggest brands from Africa," today we're actually one of the biggest leather brands from Africa. And in that future, I want to see a lot of other local brands get inspired, like from our brand, and hey, you can do this, because we need this. We need like if you look at the population of Nigeria, we actually don't need tourists to come. No doubt, tourists is good. No doubt, I'm not saying don't. I'm not disputing that fact, but I'm saying the market is
We have the
huge enough.
population,
We have the population.
it's huge, yeah.
We can build a lot from this. So every day, honestly, I always fine tune my thoughts. I always fine tune what I really want to do. It changes. I'm like because sometimes the factor of the economy can just change everything. When this time last year, dollar to a naira was about maybe 800 or thereabout, or 700. No, apologies. I think it was lesser. was
Yeah,
about
yeah. It was around 7,
6 to
yeah,
700
yeah.
thereabouts.
It was fluctuating between 6 and 7.
When he hit 1,000 in December.
Yeah.
This year, in March, is about 1,600. The dream I had last year, do you think it can still be the same this year? Do you get? What do you think?
Dream.
This location that I am today, I think we've done about, I think it's our 5th year. You can, my HR, we talk about it. Last year, in fact, we were scouting for a location. In fact, early last year, this time last year, I wish it was out of RU. We were looking for, we got a space, we were like, okay. She said, well, let's take it out. Like, we're opening Dubai. We just opened Dubai. Are you sure we should take this space? Go and take a bigger space, a building. I said, that's true. I said, let's just walk through this. Yeah. Now look at what it has put us through. Now, this is the time where we're supposed to expand. But expanding now, what you had last year has depreciated. Whether you like it or not, your currency has depreciated. What you had last year, this year is like divided by 2.
But these are all the challenges, and and you're navigating through them.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, so when you ask me that your plans for the next, honestly, do you know, I was like, Temi, what are you doing? Like,
I feel you're struggling.
And do you know what? In fact, I ship in goods. I still have goods at the warehouse that I've not paid for, But I'm happy those guys, they are considered, even though they don't have a choice, because we were thinking of expanding by this time this year. So we started buying materials for this to kick off this year. Now, in fact, we don't even have space anymore. I have stuff in my house. I have stuff everywhere. Keeping this there. Stuff are staying in the warehouse. I've not cleared. Jigger. So I'm like, where do we stand? Jigger. The money we paid, I'm paying times 3 of what I'm clearing. What I cleared this time last year. Jigger. I don't know what my rent is going to be. Everywhere is almost times 3. Jigger. So how do you want me to process where I want to be in the next 5 years? How do you want me to process that now?
But we have to keep doing it afraid.
But that's the thing.
That's the belief that we have in this country.
Honestly, I appreciate people. Yeah. I appreciate our clients, our customers, and that's why I'm here to stay. Because when people support you and they believe in you, you have to show that you believe in them too. Yeah. Because without them, you are pretty much like, I'm not saying that, there are a lot of other businesses, it's not like I'm just the only business. There are a lot of businesses, you have people, it's also beyond just people supporting you. It's also about what you put to the table. Yeah. Because, and that's why I said earlier about how I started. I started from ground zero. Do you get? So there's no way you want to take me to.
That you have not.
that would threaten me.
Yeah.
Do you get? So even if Nigeria crumbles, God forbid, it will never happen. So I'm just saying that I'm just giving you the mindset of where
you're tough.
Do you get? So if you say if I lose my money today,
you make it back.
I go somewhere else. We'll go. We'll start again.
But what's your advice for people who want to go into business, entrepreneurship, and all that? Because people see the success, but they really don't know a lot of back end. Yeah. That a lot of things that happen back end. The whole sleepless nights, the headache, dealing with, because everything stops on your table. Yeah. You are the chief decision maker. Absolutely. And decision and choices is everything in a business. Absolutely. So and not a lot of people can navigate and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So when I see people say, oh, I want to start this business and all of that, and in my head, I don't even know what advice to give them. I just want them to just, discover as they go on, because there's even no template. There's no handout. You just have to talk about all the abstract things. Just keep going. Yeah. Don't get discouraged. This will happen. Don't get too excited. This will happen. Yeah. When this happens, just stay in there, hang in there, keep on going. Yeah. Hang in there, keep on going. I get calls from different
I don't know how you
entrepreneurs
do it
every day.
yourself, because in fact, I
My
wish I could
operation is
ask you
crazy.
questions.
My
I wish I
operation
could
is
ask
crazy.
you
Maybe
questions.
one day I'll be the one that somebody's asking
No,
questions.
in fact, yeah, as quick as possible. We need to
so
ask you
I just
questions.
tell young entrepreneurs or people that are just starting out their business, or even people in business, the headache never stops.
At all. Doesn't.
We are in a country that we believe in, because I feel that the people who believe most in the future of this country are the entrepreneurs in this country, people doing business in Nigeria.
100%.
Because they are the ones empowering people.
Yes.
They are the ones creating that enabling environment for people to thrive. In their families, for survival.
Yes.
I mean, entrepreneur. You have how many staff do you have? I'm sure they are not less than
20.
Yeah, they're not less than 20.
About 25.
Yeah. And your overhead monthly is not something to, and every 29th of the month, bills has to be paid.
100%.
Bills has to be paid. People have to walk home back to their family and say, hey, this is what I did for 29 days or for 30 days of my life.
Yes.
So when young people that are starting business, I just tell them, just keep on going. You'll find out yourself, but don't be too excited.
And have
at
passion.
every stage. Even passion is not enough. I just think that, yes,
but
passion and all that, but I guess most entrepreneurs in Nigeria, the most important element they need most is courage.
Courage, yes.
The courage to hang in there. The courage to start is different from the courage to hang in there.
Yes.
And the courage to hang in there is different from
a different whole new level of courage.
Yeah, a new level of, but hey, bro, T.T.DALK. Thank you very much for doing this. You are doing a wonderful work. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because a lot of people have asked me, why are you going about talking to entrepreneurs, doing business in Nigeria? But I really want, because nobody is talking about it. People share their success on social media. They see this brand and they see, oh, this person is doing great. And that's the drive why they want to start the same business. But people need to know
what is at the back end.
the whole back end, what the headaches are, what the pains are, what the challenges are, and all that. So as I celebrate entrepreneurs across Nigeria, most especially during this time, during this season, staying in there, doing business, paying their bills, navigating through the terrain, irrespective. So, my brother,
I appreciate it. When you called me, honestly, I always just say, let's do this next week. It's been a while I did this interview or did an interview. I used to do it frequently. As a matter of fact, I used to facilitate, because where I used to work during my school days, I used to do like intern at my uncle's place. So, go for leadership trainings and all that, So from there, I went to Lagos Business School. I did an entrepreneurial course for a year. And so, as a matter of fact, they called me one time to come and train, to do like a facilitation there and, tell people about your experiences and all that, So, I think that was the last time I've done any interview. People call me because we need you to come and
you just don't have time.
And they don't understand.
They don't understand.
Honestly, I've not really been in the right frame for a while and for years, I'm telling you. So when you called me, I was like, well, it is because it's you. Honestly, it's not. This is because I've not had that time. Yeah. Because people don't say, even my wife, sometimes she just tells me, I've been a while you've gone out to even do any, because I do that a lot. I just want to train people. I was almost saying I'll just do it at my side, where we train people, and because people need to know, we need to inspire people, but honestly, it's sometimes
thank you for doing this.
I
know. I feel you, Eddie. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you very much for doing this.
I really appreciate it.
And I will come back again.
With the other guys,
yes.
He inspired me.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I said, no, I have to.
Because we need to create that community of entrepreneurs, like minds. See, it is easy when we are together, when it's an alliance, and when we talk about our issues and find a way to help ourselves, find a way to strengthen ourselves. I mean, I see what you go through building your business and all of that, but trust me, I can tell you that all entrepreneurs in Nigeria are in the same frame of mind that you are in right now. And then you are not alone. we're all together. I'm doing this every now and then, and I hope that maybe I make it last as much as I can.
God will grant you
and all of that.
direction,
And we still
strength.
have some kind of gathering where we can encourage ourselves and then just serve as a catalyst for each other during this time. So thank you very much once again for doing this. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.